Well, hello. Right. Link send out time. Live for Infinity GT from Fuji. Paste that. Okay, I think we are just about done. Right, okay. Link posted out in all the chats, and not all the chats, sorry, just all the groups. Right, so race 5 then from the Infinity GT Manufacturer Series. This time we're back in the Group 4 machinery, and this one is coming at you from Fuji International Speedway. So top speed will reign supreme here on these streets. Put my phone on charge a sec. Yeah, now off the top of my head I can't actually remember what Group 4's. I know the McLaren's alright. Let me just turn some on. Yeah, I know the McLaren's alright. I think the Citroen suffers on top speed. In fact, I'm pretty confident the Citroen struggles on top speed. Let's see what Total Rose is getting up to here. It's a 7th gear. Uh, 154 before he has to think about braking. It doesn't actually seem that bad. Didn't really see what Rick was doing. Ickle Pants didn't really see either. But yeah, the Citroen might well struggle. YSOB you son of where's the A? I'm alright mate, I'm alright Smokey, yeah, I'm good. Still no PC mate, I'm still waiting for it. I'm now looking at spending my money on monitors. It's getting expensive. I figured I've ordered a PC that's got a 3060 in it, like beastly graphics card, and I'm gonna be technically plugging it into a TV. Ain't got time for any. Man's busy. Dark Smoker's a busy guy. You must be. You not streaming tonight? It's a weeknight. I'm sure you're streaming soon. We're getting each of us way already. If you haven't figured out, by the way, we're just out here for quali, so while the outlaps are going on, there's not really too much to see other than introduce you to the drivers, but we've got 10 minutes of quali to do that. What we will see, though, is everyone's going to dive into the pits at the end of this lap anyway to change their tyres, because no one wants to start on the, start on the soft. So, although this is unlikely to be the order that they actually start the qualifying laps, and let's go through the drivers. We've got Fabuki in the McLaren, KB in the Mercedes. I think I mentioned it, he doesn't like that car. LS Dano, another Mercedes driver. Rick GTR in the Honda. I think we've got Spadders back, his teammate. Spadders missed last week. Adam in the Aston Martin. I think it's the first time seeing the GT4 Aston, I think. Pilo in the BMW. Spadders in the Honda. Shellshock, he's in the McLaren, so that must be Faruqi's teammate. B-Rated in the Citroen. Total Rose also in the Citroen. Fat Pickles Bro in the Aston. Ickle Pants in the other BMW. That looks like it's had a bit of a livery overhaul, that one. Yeah, sweet. I'm beginning to get some free time myself, so it's nice when you get it, isn't it? So I think I've timed it just right, because then I'll have my free time. I'll get my PC. I'll be able to like mess it. I've ordered them. You'll be proud of me, mate, as well, Smoker. I've ordered a mountain bike. Like, I don't. It's not only a cheapy one, Specialized Comp 29 or something, but That's arriving next week. So I'll be out on bike and ripping up some hills. I'll just be like riding to the shop and back, but you know, same thing. Yeah, 3 leagues away. I mean, that's about my workload at the minute. The issue I've got at the minute is covering GTTCC post race. That takes more time than doing it live, obviously. So once the GTTCC has finished for season 15, I'll have a lot more free time. I will get my weekends back, which I'm very much looking forward to. It's about ripping down. Yeah, but that's where accidents happen, mate. And I'm clumsy as it is. You don't need some 15-stone fat lad on a bike screaming down a hill at like 400 mile an hour, then rips into a tree. Because that's what'll happen with me. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. Right, first timed lap coming in from KB. The pace is going to be a 44.9. Whether that's any good or not, I don't know. Everyone else is on out laps, so we're not going to see any actual time lapse now for another minute or so. It's just going to be KB who's out on his own. He's got enough life in those tyres to go and set another lap. Yep, Fabuki's going to be the next one to start a lap. So what was that Citroen doing at the end of the straight then? Slipstream's going to be king here. Car's going fast enough, yeah. Most of the cars going like 55, so yeah, the Citroen's actually not much worse. The Honda's actually a little bit slower. The BMW a bit slower as well. The Aston Martin, big ripping V8, one of the fastest down the straight. Hunty, cheers for the sub, my friend. 4 months badge goes to you. What that badge looks like yet, mate, I don't know. I'm sure we'll invent something. Good to see you, man. It's going good, mate. It's going good. I was just saying to Smoke, I'm just waiting. I'm still just waiting for my PC to turn up. About another week away, apparently. It's being built at the minute. Oh, for God's sake. Jenny! Hi, Jenny. Still not turned up. No, it's a 2-week build time, nearly 3 weeks. Because it's got the it's got a 3060 in it. So I think they might have to wait for like a stock to come in or something. Or they've said it'll be by the 2nd of June, I think. So yeah, just waiting. So yeah. To be expected, most builders have it, and I looked at building it myself because I'm pretty. I mean, I've got an electrical engineering degree, so I should imagine I'll be able to strum together a PC. It's the software bit that I'd struggle with, but you just can't get all the graphics cards, mate. No matter what, you just can't get them. So we're seeing some more times creep in. Then KB's early pace, which is in the high 44s, seems to be a good initial pace. Spadders has got the closest B-Rated's popped a great time in a 45.0. That's superb for the Citroen. Citroen's obviously really hooking it up then to at least 1 point in this lap. So just a little bit of a recap. Now we have got a lap in for pretty much everybody. So KB, top of the tree, 44.9 for the German, with Spadders, our karting maestro, 44.9 for him as well. He's in P2 in the Honda, B-rated P3 in the Citroen. So unless that has some disastrous electrical defects halfway around the race, he'll be starting on second row of the grid so far. Icklepants in the BMW. Indicators are an optional extra. P4 for Icklepants. He normally does have brilliant race pace as well, does Icklepants. So not always a great qualifier, as we've seen in the top. So not always near the top, but pretty much always goes well in the race. Fat Picklesbow, another one who has really good race pace. The fuel-saving king of Gran Turismo Sport is P5 in the Aston Martin at the moment, with Pilo in the other BMW in 6th, Rick in the Honda in 7th, Shell Shock McLaren driver in 8th, Adam 9th. Fabuki at the moment is the surprise package, being down in P10. 1.5 seconds off the lead time. It looks like he's heading into the pits for a fresh set of boots. He'll have enough time for one more go at this. He's got a second and a half to find somewhere along that line. Total rows 1:47.5. Something tells me we haven't seen the best of that Citroen yet. Another one we haven't seen the best of is LS Deno, who's currently on a prep lap, so he's only going to get one hot lap in this entire. As Spadders takes pole, knocks the German down. So Spadders in the Honda, maybe with a little bit of aero assistance from the Aston Martin there. 44.8, so half a tenth up from KB. KB, they'll just go purple sector 1. Sector 1 is one corner, so it's kind of easy to go purple sector 1. A lot of people do it. Alright, LS Deno. So he's going to get round to start. He's like, he's not going to get another one in, so this is going to be last chance saloon for Deno. And off he goes. He's got clear track ahead of him. No time yet set for the Mercedes driven by Mr. Dennington. Really pushing. Always bailed out of it at turn 1. It's not gone well. There's been maybe an issue on that Mercedes that he's just not hooking up in qualifying. The other Mercedes is in P2 at the moment. Who else have we got? I'm waiting to see what Fabuki's got in the tank. So he's got a minute to get round, so he could probably do with backing off from some of this traffic ahead, because knowing Fabuki's speed, he's probably got enough in the tank to catch those guys. And obviously if they're done on their qualifying laps, he doesn't want to encounter that traffic, so he could probably just do with bailing out. In fact, Spadders gets out of his way for him. Let's see if KB, who's got a little bit of slipstream there from Rick's Honda, see if he can improve and take back that pole position. As Rick improves to 45.5. KB doesn't improve that time, but he does get round to set another lap. B-Ray, can he improve on his 45.0? Not this time around. That might have just been a prep lap for him. Ickle Pants looks like he's out of qualifying. Fat Pickles gets round to start another one. Rick is round. Pilo, let's have a look who else we've got. Fabuki on his lap now. The 10 minutes have elapsed. Every driver is now on one more lap, apart from LS Deno. And a few drivers that we have seen bail out of laps and stuff. So all comes down to this final lap then. Ickle Pants, sorry, is one driver that's not taking part. So the two BMWs are out of, I say out of qualifying, they're not doing another lap. They don't feel like they need to, potentially. Fabuki will be setting personal best sectors all over the shop, but it's a question of whether it's going to be fast enough to displace Spadders. Deno does set a time of 2:09.6. And the way I think this might work, Deno might. He's gonna have it. Yeah, he's gonna get enough time to finish his lap. Deno actually will get round to do another one. So, fortunately for the Mercedes driver, he's still in the running. Keep an eye on the bottom left. That's where the times will flash up if we have improvements. But for now, I just want to see what Fabuki can do. 46.5 for the McLaren. Which, yeah, might be a little bit tricky around here, but I've personally driven a McLaren around this circuit, and I have managed to get 44s out of it. So Fabuki here is a lot faster than I am. Should be able to do the same. He can get a 44.7 pole position then for the McLaren. After he's ripped 50 kilos of fuel weight out of that car. That might have been his strategy all along, you know. But talk about saving it to the last minute. Then Mr. Fabuki with 44.7 right at the death. Puts Spadders down into P2. Relegates the Mercedes of KB to the second row of the grid. He's going to be accompanied by B-Ray. And that is unless, of course, Deno, he can't do anything about it. His qualifying is done. Deno has to do all his work in the race. Everyone has now set times. I think that will be it. So just a quick recap. So Fabuki pole, Spadders P2, KB P3, B-rated finishes off the second row of the grid. Then you got Ickle Pants in the BMW, joined by Fat Pickles Rose Aston Martin on row 3. Row 4 occupied by the Honda of Rick 33 GTR and Pilo in the other BMW. row 5 occupied then by Shell Shock in the Honda and Total Rose in the Citroen. Adam MVP brings your 11th place, and rounding out the grid then for P12 is LS Deno, who has done a Bottas, and something's not gone quite right there, and Deno's out of qualifying. To drink some tea while we wait. There we go. Usual format, 50 minutes of racing lies ahead of you. We do have some rules to bear in mind, but let's not bore ourselves with rules for the start. We'll talk about them when it's relevant. As we get that jazzy opening music then, Fabuki's power wipers come on. He needs all the help he can get going down the long main straight. The Mercedes do start well, so KB in a great position here. The McLaren's not a bad starting car, but when you compare it to the Mercedes, I do think the Mercedes got the edge on it. We've got the 5 lights. Now we don't have the 5 lights. Everyone seems to get away well. No one bogs down, stalls, or in other words, has an absolute catastrophe. And the Citroens, as expected, get an absolute flyer. B rated here, already up alongside KB. KB moves to cover him off. KB gets a great start in the Mercedes. Gives enough room there to Fabuki. There's a little bit of contact, including the BMW. I think that was Pilo's BMW behind, but it is KB that leads you through turn 3 for the first time of asking, joined by Fabuki. B-rated P3 with Spadders, then down to 4th. Fat Picklesbro 5th at the minute, ahead of Ickle Pants, Total Rose, Pilo. Dano's already up to P9. Ahead of 3 cars already, and Dano immediately making a move on the BMW with Pilo. And Dano gets that move not made, actually. Pilo's got a really tidy exit. Dano maybe have just got a little bit of oversteer. Let's scream down to the not to the hairpin, to the big braking zone at the bottom of the hill. This is where most overtaking is going to happen, as Ickle Pants either defends or attacks there. Couldn't quite tell for the life of me. It's Pilo actually that's made a move, made a place up on Shell Shock, and is already looking to get his way past Total Rose. Pilo, the BMW's starting really strong. They just seem to have really good traction. So of course everyone taking a slightly different route with tyres. As we do see, I was doing a Monaco race direct to cut there, so I had a look at the action, then immediately cut away to something way more boring. With Spadders B rated. And then a good little battle for P8 between Total Rose, Shell Shock and no, it's Pilo, Total Rose and Shell Shock. Dano's a little way back from this actually. Pilo, the man on a mission at the moment in the BMW. Although on the defensive now against Shell Shock, he was looking favourable in that McLaren for a move down the inside. Does just about have a nose in there, so Pilo does give him the room at the apex, and the favour is returned on the exit. And it's side by side, Pilo with the inside line. We can see Spadders and B-rated going at it. B-rated in the Citroen gets a move made around the outside. That turns around to the inside for a long sweeping right-hander. Spadders might just have to give this one up, rather than potentially lose a position to the Aston Martin and BMW that are rampaging behind. But Spadders will not take no for an answer and slides that Honda down the inside of the Citroen. Take that, Frenchie. Down you go. Down with this sort of thing, says the Honda, and carries on in P3. Ickle Pants then and Fat Pickles, side by side, coming down the hill. They're going to battle it out of each other before deciding who gets to have a crack at B-rated. Looks like Fat Picklesbro just about wins that argument for the time being. Oh no, somebody's lost that argument. I was looking at the wrong BMW. It's Pilo that's behind him. BMW's of exactly the same livery, so it's sometimes quite hard to tell them apart. KB, predictably, who is on the soft tyre, he's running away with it. Spadders is the one driver at the minute sort of disadvantaged because he started on the soft tyre, hoping to get a really good start. Coming out behind Fabuki was not part of his plan, and he's probably getting held up a little bit now by the McLaren. Shell Shock on the softs as well. That might not play out for him through the race, and Adam right at the back on the softs in the Aston Martin. Is this shell shot going for a move on Fat Pickles, bro? It's not. It looks like he backed out of it there at the apex, and although saying that, the McLaren got a really tidy exit, and Fat Pickles, bro, is behind the American. Yeah, Fat Pickles just went really deep there, and shell shot just able to get that nice and tidy. And the McLaren then up to P6, and you can probably get on with the job of trying to chase down Ickle Panzer's BMW. Shell shot is on the soft compound tyre, so he has got a tyre advantage over the cars around him. That is definitely worth mentioning now that those tyre temps are starting to come into play. The softs will be well within their working window by now. The mediums should be just about there. Of course, takes a little while for these tyres to kick in and get working and get the rubber mouldable enough to grip into the circuit like it's designed to do. The guys on softs have not had that problem. That tyre warms up almost instantly. The medium running cars, that will take a little bit more time. Dano up to P9, made those moves up pretty much from the start, but it's just starting to drop back a little bit now from the leading 8-pack. Maybe he's just playing the long game here. That's something you do need to factor in. KB's obviously just going for a very aggressive strategy. Low 45s are the order, whereas for Buki on the mediums, mid 46s, so he's losing around a second and a half a lap for Buki. And everyone else indeed to KB, as Spadders goes really late on the brakes there, nearly takes the escape mode, and the Honda lives to fight another day. Ickle Pants now does dispatch a B-rated. B-rated is going to try and get that position back in the Citroen. We'll go for the move there, and it's side by side between the two of them. Can B-rated hold it round the outside? There's a little bit of contact between the two. B-rated looks like he might. Yeah, he's backed out of it. Citroen goes left, then it goes right. It's going for the cutback. It's gone very deep though, and that's going to allow shell shock up the inside. And shell shock with the soft compound tyre does not need asking twice. Let's just go back and see how that move transpired for B-rated up the inside. So he got a decent run. He was about alongside. A little bit of a squeeze at the apex by Ickle Pants, but what can you expect really? That's that sort of corner. Ickle Pants at the moment is having to defend away to shell shock. Now of course those that are on the mediums, yeah, the other guys are on softs, but they might just not want to give them too much. Like you can see Ickle Pants is fighting that, despite the fact that shell shock just round the corners, you can just drive up the inside. That's just how much more pace a soft compound tyre will give you at this stage of the race, because it will start to degrade away a lot faster than the medium will, and keeping that tyre in an operating window is going to be a problem. KB extends his lead down to 6.6 seconds. He's setting his stall out really early. Spadders has got past Fuji. I didn't actually see that happening. I'll be honest, I was kind of waiting for it, given that Spadders has got the soft tyres on. He's performing excellent in this championship as well, is Mr. Spadders, as we see in the background. Actually, B-rated has got himself back past Ickle Pants. Did not catch that move by the Citroen driver, but he's got himself ahead. And now he's got two BMWs to defend against. It's Ickle Pants and Pilo. In terms of strategy then, so let's talk rule sets and what the drivers have to do. So in terms of tyres, they have pretty much free tyre choice. They can choose either the soft, the medium or the hard. No one really picks the hard compound tyre, it's just too slow. So it then comes to a toss up between the medium or the soft tyre. During the race you must run both compounds of tyre for a minimum of 3 timed laps. What you tend to find happens for most drivers is they will stretch out the softs as long as they can, because they are the grippiest tyre. Drivers will be wanting to try and convert this to a one stop if at all possible. given that less time in the pits is always a good thing when it comes to racing. The less time you can spend stationary, the better. So those that are on the medium tyres at the moment, they'll be wanting to stretch this out to near as makes no difference, a half-hour long stint. As you can see, that's certainly the plan that Deno's got in store. Anyone that's approaching half a tank at the moment is definitely on an aggressive strategy. Or is on the other part. So the softs, you'll probably want to get about 20 minutes out of those. The mediums, you'll probably want to do about 30 minutes. The contra strategy to that is do two shorter stints on the soft compound tyre and do a tiny stint on. So literally just do your few laps on the mediums and do the rest of the time on softs. But it means making an additional pit stop, and it's whether you can make that time up elsewhere, basically, is the best way of putting it. So if you're able just to lap a lot quicker on softs, and you think you can make that time lost in the pits back up again on track, a two-stop could well work for you. Someone whose cards we're yet to see fully laid out on the table is Mr. KB. He extends his lead now to another 10 seconds at the top of the field. We're just coming to the end of lap 6. Only just completed 10 minutes of racing, and for every minute that's passed he's pulled about a second on everyone behind him, so that's the pace that he's doing. Everyone else is sort of managing, you get the impression. Even Spadders, who has the soft compound tyre on, yes, he's doing 45s, but they're quite high 45s. You do get the feeling with Spadders especially, there's probably a certain degree of management going on there. That, or he's just been constrained by traffic. Now he's been free of Fuji. We'll see if that pace for Spadders, of course, improves at all. Still in the very low 46s for Spadders, so yeah, there's probably some management going on there. The two McLarens then are joined together. Shell shock on the soft tyre. Is there going to be a team call here to let the American through? Will Zach Brown be on the radio saying let Shell shock through please, he's on a faster tyre? We don't want to waste this opportunity, because of course Shell shock could try and drive up to Spadders and keep Fuji in that fight until the pit stop phase, and then it is blown wide open. B-rated still doing a fantastic job in that Citroen ahead of two very, very fast BMWs. Of course, they're all on the same tyre. The BMWs actually don't look like the body language of them doesn't seem too... they're not poking out for every single move, is basically what I'm saying here. If we just look on the equal pants, so are they just happy behind the Citroen at the moment, short shifting? I wouldn't imagine they are. As you can see, the two McLarens do indeed swap places up ahead. Yeah, equal pants didn't even look for that. Wasn't even bothered. The BMW's just got much better traction. Just a little bit of onboard time. Yeah, just happy now. We'll just park behind the Citroen, or maybe not. I was going to say just use the slipstream and save the fuel. KB's nearly 11-second lead now. Since Spadders on the soft tyres got into P2, that lead stopped increasing as fast, which tells me KB's tyres are starting to feel the pain a little bit, and indeed he's taken a lot more life out than Spadders has. Spadders might well try and extend this soft stint. Shell shock might well try and do the same. What else have we got kicking off? Equal pants is past B-rated. Just as I said, I think the BMW might be quite happy behind the Citroen. He goes and does that down at turn 1 and gets the move made on the inside. See, I thought his strategy there was just going to be park behind the Citroen and just save more fuel. LS Deno up to P8 then. So he's been pretty consistent in his lap times. Had a bit of a slow lap 6 where he nearly locked in a 48, but it wasn't miserable at all. Personal best lap at the moment, so this should be a mid 46, which is definitely which within the top times that are being set on the medium shelter cars. So the Mercedes does definitely have pace here at Fuji. Fat Pickles in that Aston. Again, you just feel there's management going on. But whenever you look at Fat Pickles, bro, you just feel he's managing things pretty much constantly and just making sure that he can pull his strategy off. Spend as little time stationary in that pit box as humanly possible. Looking at everyone else. Total Rose says on the mediums has taken quite a lot of life out of them. KB seems quite happy at the moment in the 45s. Spadder's now coming under pressure from Shell Shock. So yeah, that team call by McLaren appears to have been the right one then, as Shell Shock is starting to put a little bit of pressure on the Honda driver. This will only serve to help out Fuji in the long run. So yeah, in terms of overall race results, it's a team effort. Shell Shock will obviously be in there for his own result, but he's inadvertently going to be helping his teammate out as well, no doubt, despite the fact his teammate's on an inferior tyre. B-rated now starting to come under pressure from Pilo, whose teammate got past the Citroen just a lap ago. Gets a great drive out of that corner, and he'll probably try and go for the move down here. The problem is we're doing it down here, he's just going to be giving a tow to the Citroen. The Citroen moves to cover that, gets it nice and tidy under brakes, does B-rated. Potentially quite vulnerable then for a move down at the end of the main straight is B-rated. Yep, you can see the times are starting to creep up again, so KB's gap is now nearly 13 seconds at the top of the table. We've had 15 minutes of racing already, another 45 for KB, so his times are fantastic in that Mercedes. Spadders, who is still giving a slipstream to the two McLarens. He pits. Quite an early pit stop for Spadders. He's going to have to do quite a long stint on those mediums. Of course, these teams will have been out testing. They'll know the capabilities of the tyre. They'll know what they want to do going in, what they believe is the fastest strategy for their car. And the Honda team obviously feel like they need to do a long stint on the mediums, or they're doing a two-stop. It's one of the two. B-rated, good defensive driving there, holds off Pilo for yet another lap, and Ickle Pants now 2 seconds up the road. LS Deno cleared another car as he's in P. Oh no, it's because Spada's pitted. So yeah, it's up to P7 now for LS Deno. Did set a mid 46 that time round. Pilo does dispatch of the Citroen that time round. Let's see how that happened. B-rated, I think B-rated actually might have just let him go there, you know. He just jinked left. Yeah, so it looks like B-rated might have just let the Citroen, the BMW go. Is he going to now come under pressure from LS Deno as he tries to burn away a penalty? So he might have, this is the thing for B-rated, he might have been carrying that penalty. And of course you have to get rid of penalties within 2 laps, and he might have just been approaching where he needs to get rid of it. That may be all that will be. But the Mercedes of LS Deno behind, lapping faster and dragging with him Fat Pickles. So Fat Pickles now in the mid 46s with his time, so benefiting from having the slipstream of the car ahead. Not much change down at the bottom. Spadders has gone on to the softs. So right, this is Spadders' strategy then, nailed to the wall. He's already ran the he's not ran the mediums yet. So he's obviously thinking that a two-stop is the fastest way. The two BMWs pit. They're going to go presumably now onto the soft compound tyre. Has that move by Spadders? Has that triggered off a load of pit stops and some activity? Looks like the McLaren boys are pretty content where they are at the moment. Getting those BMWs out of the way is giving B-rated a bit of clearance now to just start buggering off a little bit. I have we open the floodgates for pit stops. I mean, it's normally about 20 minutes in we tend to see the first pit stops happen in these races. It seems to be the sweet spot for the undercut in most cases. We shall see what happens. I mean, a lot of the racing now is sort of spread out, so the undercut not hugely powerful. The McLarens won't want to undercut each other. They may even double stack a pit stop if that comes to it, although they're on different tyres, so we won't be seeing that. KB, race leader pits. So he's done 20 minutes on those soft tyres. They're not in bad shape, and he was still doing 45s on them. But he pits with a 15.5 second advantage over Shell Shock. Shell Shock is going to carry on with his soft tyres, so he's not, all the other soft tyre runners have pitted. He's not falling for that trap. He is carrying on. B-rated and LS Deno. So Deno pits as well. Most of the other drivers do indeed carry on. So B-rated Fat Pickles, well, Rick, Adam, Total Rose, who is right up the backside of the Aston Martin right now. One driver to keep an eye on, it's Spadders. So where does Spadders come out in relation to KB now? Don't get me wrong, KB and Spadders might be doing very different fuel and pit strategies. In fact, it looks like they are, to be fair. They're doing pretty much the same thing. Spadders has been out there a couple of laps extra. Reduce that deficit to the Mercedes. This is terrible. have they given the drivers twitch in the cockpit there? Dano out last at the moment, but also has pitted for the soft compound tyre, so he's got rid of that medium. Has he nailed his flags to the wall as well for a two-stop? Or does he think he can make 30 minutes on 3/4 of a tank? Answer on a postcard. Qualifying with bad, Dano, I'll give you that, but your race pace, mate, right up there. I think you're about the fastest driver on the medium tyres. Fubuki's slightly quicker on the mediums, but he has had some slipstream resistance. Fast and B-rated, about the same as Fat Pickles, so yeah, you're up there, mate, in terms of pace. No more pit activity happening yet. There's still a few drivers out there that haven't pitted, of course. KB, who has made a stop, is coming up to the back of Total Rose, who hasn't yet stopped. So the pace difference, that is, KB is 19 seconds off the lead. When Shell Shock and Fubuki do pit, he will reassume the lead for the race by a lot. Basically, Spadders, although we do believe he's on that two-stop strategy, Spadders has definitely had that pace in the early stint to just not overhaul KB, but reduce the deficit from like 15 to 8 seconds, which it was originally. So he's took quite a lot of time out of him. Right, is it now the time for the two McLarens? We're approaching the halfway point in the race. Do they think they can make? I mean, on fuel, they can make half distance easily on fuel. And the McLaren's not the best on fuel saving either, is it? It's not bad, but it's not brilliant. Fat Pickles with 1/4 of a tank left. This is what I mean, like that you can never count Fat Pickles out when it comes to strategy, because he can, as Pilo leaves the room, yeah, he can look after a set of tyres and a tank of fuel like no one's business. Well, I'm with Pilo. Did he just... One minute. Oh, so he's just running round at the back and then leaves. Yeah, I don't get to see. Sorry, I don't know why Pilo's left the race. I am really not sure. So two McLarens still running first and second. Fat Pickles Bro and B-rated tussling it out for P3. Sounds a little bit dirty, that is, in racing terms. So These two battling away for that coveted P3 position. Rick P5 at the moment with Adam in 6th. Now these top 8 cars have not yet pitted. We have seen... Oh no, they have pitted. It's just the fact that KB has managed to catch and overtake one of the cars that is not pitted yet. That such is the pace of KB and that Mercedes. He's made a pit stop and he's now getting on with overtaking the cars that haven't stopped. It's just ridiculous pace by KB. Spader's not a million miles away either. He's 8 seconds behind Total Rose at the moment, starting to drop a little bit to KB, not a lot. KB navigates his way past the Aston Martin of Adam. KB of course would be continuing his aggressive strategy from earlier on. I'd imagine we will start to see a lot of pit stops start to happen this lap or next. Looking at the state of the fuel tank of some of these cars, Rick's done a great job of fuel saving as well, has to be said. He's gone 14 laps, he's got enough in there to keep going another couple of laps. So Rick really opening the door for that one-stop strategy. He would just need to nurse these softs. So if he can go another lap or something and then just nurse the softs, it might help him out in the long run. Same for Total Rose, he's done a good job on fuel as well. But he is getting caught very, very fast by Spadders. Do we see any pit stops then? No, we don't, do we? Oh, we've got Adam in the pits then, in the Aston Martin, so he's going to pit from... where was he? So he was on the soft tyre. To be fair, that's great consistency from Adam. 47s every single lap. Absolutely nailed it. Deno, hating life. Did you... 156.4. Not right sure what's happened there, Deno, my mate. What happened? If you remember, the Mercedes team last week out at Nürburgring, they'll still be reeling from that. Where they had that very Mercedes-like pit issue. Anyone that watches the F1 will know Mercedes and pit stops are cursed, and unfortunately that happened in Germany at the Nürburgring last time out for KB and Dano. There was some FOD on the road that they collided with. It made them miss the pit stop allocation, and kablamo, the rest is history. Rick is the next car to get overtaken by KB. Right, we are seeing a flurry of stops now. So there's two McLarens. They're going to double stack. Fat Picklesbro, is he just going to carry on? You betcha, that's exactly what Fat Picklesbro is going to do. B-rated pits as well. So all these cars have done 26 minutes on a full tank of fuel so far. KB is going to try it. Well, he's going to overtake Rick. Rick's not really going to put too much of a fight up about that one. Rick's so far the fuel saving maestro, really. Him and Total Rose really sticking it to everyone. And in fact, I'd just say Rick saved a little bit more than Fat Picklesbro has. That says to me something. So most drivers then, having now made a pit stop, we do start to see where everyone's going to line out. Where does Fuji come out? So Fuji comes out just ahead of Shell Shock. Had managed to save that little bit more fuel, and even though the American was leading coming into the pits, because he was stationary a little bit longer than Fuji, given the additional fuel that needed to be added. Fuji's technically got the jump on his teammate, but these guys aren't going to give each other a hard time. And that's not what they're here for. So your leader of the race at the moment is Fat Picklesbro, but he's going to be pitting at the end of this lap. So will Rick and Total Rose, I would imagine. Very brave of them to stretch another lap out on that. That will then hand KB the lead of the race. We'll then see about a 10-second gap between KB and Spadders, I reckon, when everyone's pitted. it's then going to be a question of what happens next in terms of strategy. So we know that KB's got to yet run the medium tyre. Him and Spadder's both got to run the medium tyre, so they've both got to pit again. I think I might have got that wrong. I might have completely got that wrong, but I think that's what it is. Total Rose does pit. There we go. Right, so everyone now has made at least one pit stop. The gap 9.3 seconds. Yeah, as we come. Yeah, 9.3 seconds in between KB and Spadders. Icopants comes through for third. The BMW having a great race so far. Good gap to Fuji. 7 seconds now ahead of the McLaren. Shellshock just starting to get dropped a little bit now. Shellshock is now running the medium tyre, and we do believe these two McLarens will probably now go to the end of the race. So they could be in for surprise results towards the end, because some cars ahead of them have got to pit again. So if the McLarens can just manage this next 20 minutes nicely, these guys could be in for a good result here. Fat Pickles Bro, having done that massive fuel saving effort at the start of the race, picks himself up a few positions now, and is now battling directly with Deno. Deno, who made his stop a lot earlier, has some nice degraded tyres on that Mercedes. Deno, we think, has got to come in again at some point. We think B Rated's going to run to the end. We think Rick's going to run to the end. And we've now got 10 cars running. We've lost 2 cars. Who have we lost? Dano. So we've lost Dano, which is a shame because he was running fine. But if you're not enjoying it, you're not enjoying it. That's all I can say about that. That's why I left. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. The other buyerparcel.com Mercedes is still in the hunt now, hunting for that silverware. He's got a very hungry Honda. You could say this is the Max Verstappen in this realm, and Spadders is certainly fulfilling that role nicely and putting the chase on KB. Icopants, although we think these top 3 have got to stop again. Yeah, it's going to be I don't know. No, it's going to be hard to call this last few minutes, I guess, because there's a lot that could happen as Adam ghosts down the main straight. Right, now he's back with us. Gap at the top now, 10 seconds. Let's have a look. So they're all on softs. Top 4 all on softs. Shellshock's running the mediums. Let's try that one-stop strat. It's just going to come down to this next round of pit stops then. So I would not expect these pit stops to happen anytime soon. They're going to happen with about 6 or 7 minutes remaining, there or thereabouts. So laps 1:45, 3, 4, yeah, about 5 minutes remaining. You can get 3 laps done in 5 minutes. Spadders actually comes in to do that stop now, which is a bit odd because he had the fuel to carry on. Whether he just felt he was losing tyre pace, but the data would definitely suggest otherwise. Or is he just looking to early cover off the McLarens? Give himself the opportunity to maybe put himself in a fight with a Shellshock or a Fuji towards the end of the race. I'm not too sure what his strategy is with that. Looks like this pit stop might drop him back a little bit. We'll see. We'll see where he comes out. He comes out in 6th, 7th. With his teammate, pretty much. Teammate is 5 seconds behind him. Spadders has gone back onto a set of soft tyres. Has he ran the mediums already and I've just missed it completely? I can't rewind the stream and check, but I don't know actually. I might be wrong. He might have started on the mediums and I've just completely messed this up. He had to pit anyway for fuel. I don't know. What that has done though, that's given KB a little bit of a gap to play with now, so the Mercedes pit wall will see that 20-second gap. It could well be put your foot down, KB. We've got a race to win. If he can get that gap out and he just does the minimum time on the mediums, he might be in a good position. It's going to be a question of tyre deg. How much time do you really lose on those medium tyres? The data suggests it's about a second. Maybe a little bit more than that. So the best times really the medium tyre runners were running with a 46 twos, 45, yeah, so 46 fours roughly were the best times. We know that you can get into the 44s on those soft tyres. Granted, you degrade them a little bit, see race pace is really low to mid 45s. Yeah, you don't want to spend too long on the mediums. You're just going to lose yourself unnecessary time, especially if your softs are okay. So it's Spadders immediately going back for another position as he's going to try and get B-rated here. So Spadders has the tyre advantage. Gets that move made up the inside of the Citroen. The Citroen's been involved in a lot of battling tonight. The futuristic Citroen GT race car is a big old wide boy, and it's made its presence felt here at Fuji. Raced really nicely, got involved in some nice fights, and certainly stuck up for itself. A plucky little French warrior that it is. So Fabuki then into the 44s. So he's really making a case for this. He's chasing down Icklepants. It's a rate of knots as well. He's taking out like a second a lap on the car ahead. Now Icklepant's not a million miles away from his pit stop in terms of fuel. So I would imagine that Fabuki will definitely take Icklepant. Fabuki is only 25 seconds behind KB. And like I said, we think KB's going to have to stop again. So as Icklepants does indeed come in for that stop, that's going to really shell shock potentially Fat Pickles Bro, potentially even Spadders back up there. Spadders' personal best lap so far, 45.0. 40 seconds off the lead, so Fabuki's another 15 seconds up the road from Spadders, and that's where he was before. I'm not sure he's going to make that time back up. So for Spadders then, he'll be looking at the one stoppers ahead. He should, towards the end of the race, have a pace advantage on these cars. Despite the fact they're in the 45s now, that should start to dip. Shell Shock's in the 46s and Fat Pickles is catching him. Shell Shock will then probably become a target for Spadders. We shall see how that pans out. This is shaping up to be a battle for the podium. Like I say, KB, if and when he pits, I don't know what the... Pretty sure he's not run the mediums yet. I'm confident he's not run the mediums yet. Has Fabuki run the mediums yet? He did, didn't he? Yeah, he ran them at the start. So that's why Shell Shock got past him. They've just the McLarens have just run opposite strategies. And I think because Fabuki took the this is how much it's worth. So taking that medium tyre at the start of the race, where you're not then wasting that tyre in traffic, 40 minutes into the race with 10 minutes still to go, potentially worth 11 seconds. And that gap may only expand. Granted, you can sort of take away a little bit for variance and stuff, because it's undeniable that Fabuki is probably just a little bit quicker on the road than Shell Shock is. It's not that big of a gap. Shellshock is a very capable driver. He does seem to enjoy the McLaren as well, so putting it down to that is not fair on him. Icklepants then comes out in P8. Yeah, so he's taking on softs again. Adam pits. He's been in that pit stop for quite a while. It's a 5-minute long pit stop, so the Aston Martin driver pretty much retired. He's done the Valtteri Bottas, might well have retired that one. It's looking like we might only have 9 classified finishes in this one. Everyone falling under the mountain then. It's just a case of when does KB pull the trigger for this pit stop. Does not have to do it yet. It's got 10 minutes to go. He's pulling that gap on Fuji slightly. It's not a big noticeable difference though. Shellshock now really coming under pressure from Fat Pickles. Spadder's involved in this fight as well. Will the Aston Martin, with the slipstream, use maximum suck power to his advantage? You can see Shellshock here just dips to the left just to break the toe. He jinks to the right again. Trying all he can to break that slipstream. Fat Pickles can't be bothered. He's just staying there. See, this is just how much Pickles just runs his own race. He just kind of does his own thing. McLaren's starting to come under a little bit of pressure as I'm spamming buttons on my controller. Spadder's on just about a second behind Fat Pickles. Anything else going off on track? Not particularly. There's no other actual racing happening. Just people working it out to the end now. This is definitely the race we need to be focusing on. This is Fat Pickles Bros Aston Martin. Shellshock is going to defend this for all his might. Activate 360 cam. Spadder's going to sneak a move up the inside. The Honda, the opportunistic Honda here. Is he going to mug off Fat Pickles Bro? Not quite. Pickles got the exit tidied up. KB does pit. Fuji is going down the pit straight now. Can these three leapfrog KB? That's going to be the question. So Fuji then takes the lead of the race. KB's coming out of the pit stop now. It's going to be close, but KB will keep it. His work was that good early on in the race. If Spadders can get past them, he might well have a run. He might well have a run on KB, but it's going to be tough. Spadders ran the outside. A beautiful move then by the Honda driver. Full Max Verstappen. He's going to get squeezed then by the McLaren to the apex just to slow his apex speed down as much as possible. And the McLaren is very good through this sector. Oh, just gets really unsteady on its heels. Spadders then released into the path of KB. 9.5 seconds is the gap, 7 minutes remain. Spadders would have to take over a second a lap. Obviously, well, way more than that actually. I think KB's done enough, but he's gonna try. I'm pretty sure he's gonna try. Let's jump on board for a look at that overtake that Spadders did around the outside at turn 1. It's nice and late on the brakes, got it tidied up, good braking. Just nice and careful on the power, and through he goes. And Fuji then comes round to start the 25th lap. He has now the tyre advantage. He's worked the strategy out and executed it to perfection so far with nearly 7 minutes to go. It's Fuji leading the race, then it's KB in P2, Spadders in third, Shellshock in fourth, still just about defending away to Fat Pickles Bro. This battle's still going on. This has been raging for a couple of laps. Can the Aston Martin do anything about the McLaren? The thing is, the McLaren's good enough in the places it needs to be good enough at to defend. Pickles are going for the cutback. He's going for the traction on exit. The Aston Martin, not quite enough in the tank to get it on the McLaren. The McLaren was able to tidy that up. Shellshock with the inside line. Fat Pickles has to bail on that one. And for the time being, Shellshock does just about survive the onslaught. Aston Martin go for it again, down into the I want to call it hairpin, we'll call it a hairpin, it's easier. Down into the hairpin, Shellshock immediately over to the right hand side to defend that position. Pickles might well just hope that the American outbreaks himself. He doesn't this time. Nice and tidy, but you can just see just how much more traction that Aston Martin's able just to put down. Shellshock, of course, on the medium compound tyre, not as grippy, anywhere near as grippy as the tyres are on that Aston Martin, but he's just not able to execute that extra grip. It's going to have to be another full send Daniel Ricciardo style down the inside at turn 1. And Shellshock so far has defended those moves valiantly, even only just losing out to Spadders last time round. The gap between Spadders and KB has come down, but not a lot, nowhere near enough really. Lots of weaving by Shellshock. Now this is okay to weave as long as you're not potentially impeding another car, and with the distance of these cars being as short as it is, you would argue that's probably a little bit on the risky side. Fat Pickles went to turn in then. There was a McLaren in the way. He wasn't able to get the turn in he wanted. Goes to turn in, either that or gets a little snap of oversteer that he just has to correct. Just has to park again behind the McLaren. We've got 4 minutes remaining in this one. Time's running out for Fat Pickles. All this fighting as well is losing him tyre grip. He could be blistering that tyre, he could be putting it through more heat cycles than it really wants to go through. Losing the grip. Again, Shellshock defends that inside line. Pickles just isn't able to do anything about it at the minute. And despite the traction advantage the Aston Martin's got, the McLaren's just putting itself in the right place at the right time. That being said though, Pickles got a decent run out for rear. He is side by side. He could potentially get the move made here. Shellshock's going to have to go wide. Great move by Pickles then, just hung in there at the vital moment, but is Shellshock going to get back at him? Don't forget now, the tables have turned. The American could potentially just try and slipstream the Aston Martin back down the main straight. So we're running out of laps then. We're going to probably have another 2. We'll check in on the leaders in a moment. I can tell you just by the track map though that not a lot's happening. Shellshock immediately back on the offensive. Pickles failed to actually fully defend that inside line there, and Shellshock's going for that move back again. Nice and tidy under braking by the McLaren, and he's back up into P4. This is a fantastic little battle between Shellshock and Fat Pickles. We're very well mannered so far at the moment, but all that could of course come to an end. What is happening though, unbeknownst probably to these guys, is the Citroen of B rated is not far behind. Just 9/10 or so behind this battle, and if either of them were to just trip up, make a mistake, as Fat Pickles does go down the inside again, if either of them were to just make a slight mistake, you can see the Citroen there has really reeled these guys in. B rated is on the soft tyre. He might fancy his chances against Shellshock. Rick in 7th, Ickelpants 8th, Total Rose is 9th, Adam is still in the race, oh he's out now, yeah, he's come out of the pits, so he was in the pits for 14 minutes. That was it's definitely a full Mercedes pit stop, that one. Fuji then leads the race, 6.2 seconds as he comes round to start what is going to be the final lap of the race. KB, a P2 position for KB. Probably quite happy with that, given how much he hates the car. It's fantastic pace at the end of the race, but probably the pit stop strategy may have let him down a little bit. Spadder's holding third. Fat Pickles Bro at the minute is fourth, but anything can really happen with this battle. You'd fancy Fat Pickles Bro to claim this, but you can never write off Shell Shock or Be Rated. These are all capable drivers. Pickles has got the tyre advantage, but Shell Shock's definitely got the vigour to try and get that move back. One more lap for the McLaren to try and get something done here. Be Rated is hanging around like a vulture at the moment. Of course, if either of these guys were to get a penalty, which is very easily done here at Fuji, then there is every opportunity that Be Rated will pick up that position by default as well, as the Citroen goes for a look down the inside of the McLaren. Last lap, gas move. This is giving Fat Pickles Bro a vital breather. Be Rated on the last lap of the race, and we will just jump back to the action very quickly. I just wanted to see how Be Rated got this done. This just looked like he just saw the gap and just put his car there. Oh, he was waiting for it. He was waiting for that to open all day long, weren't he? Be Rated has kept that position ahead of Shell Shock for the time being. Might even bring Rick into the fray as well. Rick's going to the next one though. Finishing the race for Buki. Wins with a 6-second advantage over KB. The McLaren driver pulled off an excellent strategy today. Worn down a wiper blade in the process, but finishes in first. KB brings home a P2. Unfortunately, Deno, his teammate, didn't finish the race today with Spadders at P3. Great pace then by the McLarens with C. Rick, I think that is in the background, going off the track. Fat Pickles Bro survives the onslaught from the McLaren driver to finish in fourth. Be Rated and Shell Shock. This is going to be close. It's going to be a photo finish. 1/100th of a second in it between those two. Yeah, Shell Shock 6th, Rick in 7th, Ickle Pants in 8th. Total Rose is going to finish in 9th place. And then last but by no means least, Adam. Going to bring it home for 10th. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Fuji, with a fantastic strategy call. Battle of the race though, got to go to Shell Shock. Fat Pickles with B Rated throwing a lunge down the inside after it was a clean move though. I didn't see any contact, but I wasn't necessarily even looking for it. But yeah, it looked like a good overtake. I think they will have enjoyed that one. And that rounds out week number 5. I don't know where we are next week. Confirmation of your final results then. Oh, I've had one of them spam messages. 1 minute, let me get rid of it. User actions. Spam. There we go. Yeah, that's Fuji. Certainly an interesting one for the drivers involved. We go back to GT3 machinery next week. The big boys. But I'm not sure what track we're going to. But you'll find out next week when you tune into the stream, won't you? You know. Hopefully, I'll be all excited next week because I'll have my hands on a shiny new PC. We'll see. We'll see if it turns up. It might not. Who knows? Right. Well, thanks for tuning in and watching. As always, I really do appreciate you coming in and keeping me company. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Good night. Bye bye. All that lot.